His Steps is a novel actually, written by Charles Sheldon back in 1896. It's a story about a small town named Raymond that is lodged out of its comfort zone by an out-of-work transient that comes into town. He ends up interrupting the worship service at First Church of Raymond.
I'm not drunk, and I'm not crazy. I'm perfectly harmless. But if I should die, there's every likelihood that I shall soon. But I'd like the satisfaction of knowing I had my say in a place like this. And before this sort of crowd. I'm not an ordinary tramp.
Jack has such a profound impact upon the pastor that the next week he challenges the entire congregation.
I want volunteers from First Church to pledge themselves earnestly and honestly for an entire year, not to do anything without first asking themselves the question, what would Jesus do?
The story then follows several in the congregation as they try to live out this pledge of living radical Christian discipleship.
What would Jesus do if he were the editor of the newspaper? Would he print some of the articles that he, Edward Norman, had been printing for years? Is it possible that he could use the paper to take a stand on moral issues?
Before he knew it, he was in possession of evidence that proved that the company was involved in willful violation of the interstate commerce laws of the United States.
Well, he dropped the papers on his desk as if they were poison, and instantly the question flashed across his mind. What would Jesus do?
Even the pastor, Henry Maxwell, is forced to make some tough decisions.
I've heard the words of our Lord many times lately. Inasmuch as ye did it not unto one of the least of these, my brethren, ye did it not unto me. And when have I personally visited the prisoner or the desperate in any way that has actually caused me suffering? Rather, I have followed the conventional soft habits of my position.
It's easy to see why this book has become such a classic, and I have been amazed at the number of people that have told me that this book changed their lives. And it's been my pleasure as a performer to see lives challenged and faith deepened because of this story. It really boils down to one simple yet very complex question.
What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do?
At my job and going to my school.